015. On April 1st, 2006, a medical student walked into a bar in Ohio. Security cameras captured him entering through the front door, but he was never seen leaving. In fact, he was never seen again. This is the disappearance of Brian Shaffer, and it might be the most baffling vanishing act in modern history. Brian Shaffer was a 27-year-old second-year medical student at Ohio State University. By all accounts, he had everything going for him. He was intelligent, well-liked, and engaged to his girlfriend, Alexis. But just 2 weeks before his disappearance, Brian's mother had passed away after a battle with cancer. Friends said he was struggling with the loss, but trying to stay positive. On the night of March 31st, 2006, Brian decided to go out with his friend William, who went by the nickname Clint. They started the evening at several bars around Columbus before ending up at a popular spot called the Ugly Tuna Saloona, a bar located on the second floor of a building near campus. Security cameras show Brian and Clint entering the Ugly Tuna Saloona at around 1:15 a.m. The bar was packed that night. It was the beginning of spring break, and students were celebrating. Witnesses say Brian seemed to be having a good time, talking to several people and drinking with Clint. At around 1:55 a.m., security footage shows Brian talking to two young women near the bar entrance. He's seen chatting with them briefly before they all part ways. Then Brian turns and walks back toward the bar, and that's the last time anyone ever saw him. Here's where it gets strange. The Ugly Tuna Saloona had only one public entrance, a single door that was covered by security cameras. There was a back entrance, but it was for employees only and led to a construction area. Police reviewed every second of security footage from that night. They saw Brian entering. They never saw him leaving. When Brian didn't show up for a planned family trip to Miami the next day, his father knew something was wrong. Brian wasn't the type to just disappear without telling anyone. Police were called immediately. The investigation revealed some puzzling details. Brian's car was still in the parking garage. His apartment showed no signs of a struggle. His cell phone last pinged off a tower near the bar around 2 a.m., then went dead. His credit cards and bank accounts were never used again. Clint, Brian's friend, told police that he had briefly left the bar around 2 a.m. to call his girlfriend. When he came back, he couldn't find Brian. He assumed Brian had gone home or met up with someone else, but the security cameras tell a different story. They show Clint leaving the bar alone. They never show Brian leaving at all. Police brought in cadaver dogs. They searched the bar, the construction area, nearby buildings, and even the garbage chutes. Nothing. They drained a nearby pond. Nothing. Brian Shaffer had seemingly evaporated into thin air from a building with only one exit that was under constant video surveillance. So what happened? Over the years, several theories have emerged. Theory 1, Brian left through the construction area. The employee exit led to a service corridor that was being renovated. It's possible Brian somehow slipped out this way and avoided cameras. But this raises questions. Why would he leave through a restricted area? And where would he have gone from there? Theory 2, foul play inside the bar. Some investigators believe something happened to Brian inside the Ugly Tuna Saloona itself. Perhaps he got into a confrontation, was injured, and was somehow hidden in the building. But extensive searches found no evidence of this. Theory 3, Brian chose to disappear. Some speculate that grieving his mother's death and stressed about medical school, Brian may have intentionally vanished to start a new life. His father has always rejected this theory. Brian was close to his family and was planning to marry Alexis. Would he really abandon everything? Theory 4. The cameras missed him. This is perhaps the simplest explanation, that Brian left through the main entrance during a brief moment when the camera angle didn't capture him, or during a gap in footage. But police insist they reviewed everything meticulously. There's also the question of Brian's friend Clint. Some have pointed out inconsistencies in his statements to police. Clint later refused to take a polygraph test and hired a lawyer, but he's never been named as a suspect, and there's no evidence he was involved. In 2008, Brian's girlfriend Alexis passed away, tragically the same way his mother did. Brian's father continued searching for his son until his own death in 2008. Before he died, he said he just wanted to know what happened, even if Brian was gone. In 2020, Columbus police announced they were conducting a new search based on a tip. They brought cadaver dogs to an area near campus. Once again, they found nothing. Today, Brian Shaffer's case remains open and unsolved. No body has ever been found. No credible sightings have been reported. He is still listed as a missing person. Somewhere out there, someone might know what happened that night at the Ugly Tuna Saloona. The question is, did Brian Shaffer walk out of that bar and vanish, or did he never leave at all? What do you think happened to Brian Shaffer? Let me know in the comments. If you found this case interesting, check out my other unsolved mysteries. And remember, Brian's case is still open. If you have any information, contact Columbus Police.